Welcome back, everybody. It has been a long time since I made a dev diary. I apologize for that. Last year was a crazy year. Ended up getting laid off, had to get a new job. And anybody with a family and a mortgage understands that comes first. So let's get into it. I think in my last video, we talked about how I was making a battle royale and that game document that you create for all your games, which if you're not doing it, you need to do it, is ultra important. Because I am no longer making a battle royale. I am making a single player adventure. I want things to be more focused on the player and not on everything else coming at them. So, with that being said, that game document, if you don't have one, let me throw up an example real quick. This should be an example right here. Game design document. This is just an example I got off the internet, but this isn't my document. But you should always have that overview and vision statement. What's the game going to be about? Audience, who is it for? What kind of game it is? Who kind of characters they are? What's the story going to be like if you have the story written out? What kind of world? What kind of media are you going to have? Some sort of you're going to have a track list for your game. You're going to have you're going to make your own music. Then you go through all the legal issues, copyrights, trademark stuff that if that applies, right? Because if you're an indie game developer, you need to be careful with that. The target audience, system requirements for your game. Is it going to be a console only, PC only? Types of PC and NPC character types, what kind of character designs you want, story, basic, backstory, if you have it. That's not 100% necessary. What is necessary is the overall vision, right? It has to make sense for what you're doing. So have that, because this is something you can always reflect back on and go, oh, that's what I was doing. This is because I'm telling you, there will be 1,000 different things you'll have to do in a game, and all the notes that you're taking and all the little things that you need to remember, to change, to come back to. This will help you kind of point out some of those things that you need to focus on first, right? Kind of put it in a structure. So that game document that's kind of like everything. That's like the holy guts of what you're doing. So definitely have one if you don't. If you don't, good luck. Another thing, a lot of folks have been, I don't want to say a lot of folks, a lot of videos. I've seen a lot of videos on don't use this engine over that engine. Don't use Unreal Engine because it does this or it's that or etc. Use whatever engine you want. Use Unity, use Unreal, use whatever, right? Uh, as long as you can make a solid game out of it that's fun, that you are enjoying, and that other people can enjoy as well, that's what's important. Are you having fun with it? Is this something you want to do? Is this how you would like to do it? Do it. There's absolutely no right or wrong engine to use. A lot of people get wrapped up in the whole, well, you only get so many frames per whatever. I'm like, okay, all right. FPS is super important for games that are online. Super important for performance if you're looking for pinpoint accuracy when you're firing at somebody. But if you're playing a single player game, this game should run smooth. Okay, it should run as smooth as you want it to run. Sometimes you need those 40 frames and not the 60 frames to get everything out of a scene that you want the player to see. That is the point. So don't get wrapped up in this engine is better than that engine when you're trying to find one that works well for you. Just find one that works well for you. Your opinion matters. You are the first opinion about your game. So your opinion matters more than everybody else's when it comes to your game. And this is for all those dads out there or moms out there that are looking to get into video gaming as a potential career. It's going to take time. This little setup I have here, let me zoom out on my on my map. Let me zoom way out. Okay. Notice that there is a basic road and street structure. I have a few buildings, a gas station there. A lot of this is going to be woodland and kind of like almost a park area out towards the sea. And I started filling in some of these buildings. A lot of these buildings are probably going to change the more I get the game done. But all of this took me almost 2 months to do because I have 1 day a week to work on my project. In that day, I might have 8, 6, 4, maybe only 2 hours to work on it, but I do work on it. Progress is what you need in a game. Every time you have a moment, you should take it if you're really serious about working on a game, and don't get discouraged. I've seen a lot of tutorials out there that say, folks are like, oh yeah, this is fast and easy. Let's do it like, let's create emissive properties like this. Let's do, this is how you make a texture. This is how you do splines. There is no fast and easy way to do anything. Because as soon as you start doing it, you realize that there are rules and properties for everything in this game that you're building, and you have to make sure it makes sense for everything that you create around it. So do yourself a favor. Take your time. Do it right. One thing at a time. One bowling alley at a time. One dance studio at a time. One self-storage at a time. But do it, because when you come back to change things, you won't have as much to change, because you will change things. I recommend fleshing out your world before you start hammering away at more game mechanics. You want to have a basic understanding of what you want, but the world is as equally important. And if you can't put the game mechanics that you want in the world that you want, then you need to change a few things. I already know what game mechanics that I want is going to work in this world. I kind of want to have that Grand Theft Auto open world feel to the game. And I want to make sure that there's plenty of room and plenty of places to go and plenty of interesting characters to talk to. So I can't think of more interesting characters and better of a blend of people than to have older folks, middle-aged folks that go to bowling alleys, the younger crowd that gravitate towards ballet and martial arts, security areas like storage areas and self-storage areas, and then on down the street, right? Like you have sectioned hotels like this is going to be, open park areas with fountains and stuff like that. It is super important to have that idea in your mind while you're fleshing things out, because if you don't, you're going to end up with a disaster, changing things way too much. And that I'm telling you, I ran into that. I'm like, I know exactly what I want to do. I know what I want this game to be. I know exactly how it's going to go, and ball drops. Nope, I can't do it like this. Why? Because I didn't understand the engine enough to understand that these mechanics do not work well with this type of game. So start with the type of game you want, flesh out the world, build your mechanics around the world, not the world around the mechanics. That's how I like to do it, because as long as the game is fun, your mechanics will work. The world just needs to make sense, right? Another thing is time. I've had a lot of folks ask me about that. Like, how are you doing time? How does that work with game development? I'm like, what do you mean? It's kind of an odd thing to ask, right? How does time work with game development? Well, let me tell you. If you're a family man, your time is 100% dedicated to that. If you don't have a family, well, then you can dedicate your time to whatever you want. Trust me, you can. It's just more important to take care of what you're doing things for. So I'm building video games because I like building video games, and at some point I wouldn't mind having a career doing it. But I'm not doing this career just for me. I have kids, right? And a wife. So I want to make sure that they are in that equation. And with that comes the amount of time that you spend doing this. So there's one quote I live by when it comes to time, and that is Henry Rollins had said at one time. He's like one of my favorite musicians. Anyway, he said there's no such thing as free time, extra time, spare time. There's only life time. Go. So there's never enough time for everything, so you have to use it wisely. And how I'm doing that is I'm blocking out everything that I need, gray blocking, grid everything that I need in the game, and then I'm building the buildings that I want to see in the game, fleshing that out, and then the game mechanics. I know I just kind of said that. I'm repeating myself. I apologize. But again, it helps manage that time with friends and family, the career that you may or may not already have. And it's ultra important uh, to maintain that mentality of time. Time is a commodity that you can't buy, and you need to make sure that it's used wisely, because the next thing you know, one day you're going to be the young aspiring artist, game developer, and the next day you're going to have a head full of gray hair. You're going to be 46 years old with a family going, gosh, I think I have a real forte for something, but I have to be careful with my time now because I don't have a lot of it. So use your time wisely. That doesn't mean you never have time, but that leads me to my next topic, which is sticking to it. You know how many times I wanted to just stop what I was doing and go, man, I like video games so much, I just don't have time to play them because I'm always making them, right? I'm always spending my time either making it or I'm at work. I have no time to enjoy it, actually playing a video game because all the time that I have is spent with friends and family. And the next thing you know, all you're doing is working. You're working on your game. You're working on the career that you have, the job that you have. You're working on a project for your house because suddenly a storm came in and blew your siding off your house, or blew your shingles off your roof. Okay, a lot of things creep in. Just remember, if this is what you really want, then go for it. But you have to really want it. There's no candy coating or sugar coating any of this whatsoever. There's absolutely no getting out of this without some work involved. Like I said earlier, if someone says that this, a fast and easy way to do something in any of the Unreal Engine, Unity, anything, it is a complete and utter fabrication. There is no way there is anything quick and easy about any of this. This game development takes forever, and that's okay. Because you don't want to rush a project. We all know what that looks like. Rushed projects are awful. They end up like the day before. That subject, I ought to make a video on that. I cannot believe the game devs got away with that. That drives me crazy. Anyway, I apologize. I digress. But stick with it because it's worth it. There's absolutely nothing worse than having a great idea, right? Having a great idea for a game, having a great idea for having a fun idea, something you really want to use and you really want to show the world, and then you can't because you're too busy. But stick with it because it's worth it. I tell everybody that. There's folks that I work with on my normal job, like, gosh, yeah, you spend all your time at work. You work 60 plus hours a week. I'm like, yeah, I do. But there's that time, right? That lifetime, that time to go to work, that time to be at home, that time with the family. You got to make sure that you're spending the right time with the right people and using it correctly. It's so easy to have time get away from you and slip away like that, and then you lose opportunities, right? You have to do what's important, take care of that family and take care of your current career. But if you want, like I said, if you want this to be a career, you got to work at it. WORK, because it's still a JOB, right? That lifetime that you got to spend, not the free time, extra time, all that other time that doesn't exist. It's all just time. Um, so another bit of advice I want to give people is it's okay to change your mind. I have plenty of game ideas that I would like to do, and I don't have the lifetime to do them all. So, with that being said, I want to make sure that the games I do make are fun. And that's the most important part. A lot of people are hung up on, oh, is it going to make money? Is it fun? Because if you can say, well, sure, but I also want to do this to it, fill in the blank, then you have the wrong idea, man. The game, GAME, game. This is about fun. This isn't about making money. This isn't a franchise, okay? This isn't Activision, okay, trying to make the next Call of Duty and falling on their face horribly because they don't understand that fun came before the game. They don't understand their player base anymore. Whatever the case may be. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying we have a lot of corporate entities that are prioritizing money over fun. And I think you missed the point, right? They wonder, well, where did our player base go? Where did all the players go for this game? Well, I can tell you where they went. They went where the fun went. Where's the fun in this? Where's the fun in, you know, I want to say it, Call of Duty. Where's the fun in that? I stopped playing that game because it stopped being fun to me. I was like, okay. So fun was back in 2005 when we were playing Call of Duty back then. That was fun. You know, playing and winning and through skill, not through, well, how much money did I spend for this and that. It wasn't a, who had the fanciest skins game. Skins are fun. Skins are really cool to have, but jeez, seems to be the focal point of things nowadays, and it really kind of takes the fun out of it. Ooh, the fun. Who knew? Anyway, remember that games are supposed to be fun. They're not supposed to make you feel obligated to do anything more than play the game. So no matter what your player base is, make sure it's something they want to come back and play again. Or tell their friends. Or inspire them to be a game developer. Not all games are a success, right? But I think the success in the game is how it affects the player in a positive way. And the games that I've played in the past have affected me in a way to where I want to be a game developer. I want to design these things. I want to have fun with it. I want people to have fun too. I think that is just the most important thing when you're making a game, right? Is how fun is this? I say that, I repeat it. How fun is this? Because if you're trying to make money making a game, it better be fun. Because if it ain't fun, you're not going to make any money at all. And then you'll end up with a divided player base going, they're just out to make the next buck. They're really not interested in what people have to say. Interested in the fans and the players that want to play the game but feel disappointed because it just doesn't feel fun anymore. Where did the fun go? Nostalgia is a weird thing. And I tell folks, I'm like, get wrapped up in the nostalgia part of the game, right? Nostalgia part of everything. And the next thing you know, you're not having any fun with the game that way because it isn't what you remember what it is. Huh. Weird. That is weird. Nostalgia is that thing that helps us remember how fun something is. We shouldn't forget how fun it is. With that being said, don't let that fool you. The game is still fun. It still is what it remembers. You had fun with something. It isn't supposed to be stacked. A game from 10 years ago isn't supposed to be stacked up against a game made today. You shouldn't be able to sit there and go, wow, that game 10 years ago was this and that, and you go to play and you're like, boy, it's not as good as I remember it. No, it is as good as you remember it. it's the fun you had when you played it. People kind of get wrapped up in the whole uh, game experience is equated to graphics and special effects, and et cetera, and so forth. No, how much fun did you have? And I'm not going to stop saying that. Every game diary, dev diary that I make, I'm going to have fun with this. Have fun making this game. Have fun with this game. Have others have fun with it. One of my favorite things to do is talk to my wife about what I'm doing. She's like, "You think people like that?" I'm like, "Oh heck, I don't know. I hope they do because I think it's just mad fun to do this in the game." So I'm building my world so that I can have that, that almost GTA kind of fun with it, because I think Grand Theft Auto has something to offer. Um, Here's that nostalgia. I miss the older Grand Theft Auto games, but I think it has more to offer in a single player aspect than it does in a multiplayer aspect, and that's where the fun is, the mayhem, the crazy part of, you know, borrowing a car with intent to return, right? We're not going to call what we're actually doing with it. Um, Relieving somebody of their vehicle and driving a motorcycle off of a bridge into a secret area to accomplish, said goal that was never really written. It's just a secret that you found. Those kinds of things are so fun to me. I just want to put them in a game, and that's what I'm doing with this game. That's what I really want to. I want this to be that kind of game, and I hope people understand that when they play it. Whenever it is, it comes out. I'm fleshing this world out to be something that is imperfect. That's why my road's a little wavy, because if you look at a road or a street that is in any town in any city, it isn't 100% straight. There's always a little wavy. It looks like somebody was putting these lines down and they were left and right on the road. That's just how roads are built. I wanted to have that kind of personality, that kind of quality to it. So, again, I apologize for kind of the long pause between videos. There will be more to come. I'm going to try to make one video a month for my game development journey and give you an update on story and etc. I kind of don't want to give too much away because the kind of game that I'm making is, the genre is hardly touched. So hopefully it goes well with people. It isn't going to be a masterpiece. Like I said, this is an independent game, and when it finally does come out, it'll be my very first commercial release. But it's coming together really well. This world is coming together super fast, and a lot faster than I anticipated, because a month ago I didn't have none of this. A month later, I have buildings. I have a really good idea of what I want. Areas laid out. I want to have a dome structure, kind of like the complex that they have over in Las Vegas. I'm being an airhead right now. I can't remember what it's called. But I wanted to have something similar to that. I wanted to play into the lore of the game, because I think this game will do well with folks who like some deep lore. But it's going to primarily take place at night. So all the lighting effects that I have will come out. I have a few right now, not much. But this is another thing you can do. Is you want to test your lighting effects. Just put in some of them. Put in some mock street lamps right here. Up and down. Put them wherever you want a light source to play on something, and see how it works. Looks like I have my dance studio over here. The lighting works really well. There's no scattering effects. Over here I'm getting a little bit over here. I don't like that. So I'm going to have to fix that. A lot of different things. See that right there? I know how to fix that. There's a lot of different things you can do to fix that. So I have light sources here. I can probably put another light source. Even add another structure out here to kind of take in some of those emissive properties. See, all the letters are 3D text. In the 3D text, I put a glowing texture on them. Glowing material. So, and then behind that, I put light sources. Put in lights. That way, some of this scattering effect gets taken up by the light, but it looks like I'm just going to have to fix that. I'll come back and fix those. but my street lights, the lighting here looks good. The lighting here looks good on this marquee, and the lighting looks good on the door here. Back door, lighting looks good back here too. There's some scattering effect, but I'm going to have lamps back here. A lamp back here. You know, the real world lighting effects that you put into a game. So a lot more to come on this. And whatever you do, don't give up. Don't give in. If you want to be a game developer, be a game developer. Whether it's a large project, a small project, it's your project. Don't let anybody tell you that you don't deserve to make the game that you want to make. Alright, everybody, that's all I have for today. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. You want to see how I'm doing what I'm doing. If you have any questions like, hey, how did you do this? Or how did you get this to work? Or how did you make decals for the walls like that? Or whatever. Throw it in the comments. Send me a message. I'm glad to share how to do what we do in the game development world with anybody who is willing to learn. Until then, have fun. Keep creating. Never give up.